Justice League is a movie that has been controversial since its release. I personally never saw the original, unfinished Cyberpunk 2077 version of the Justice League until a couple days ago. I saw it in preparation for this film, and I gotta say it's a massive improvement. Zack Snyder's Justice League is essentially a 4-hour long cut of what we saw with the 2017 version. It adds a lot of different things, a lot of smaller scenes that kind of give more context to what we saw in the original movie, and honestly, I think it's better in every single way. Before watching Zack Snyder's Justice League, you have to go in with the assumption that this is not going to be a normal film. It is filled with so many strange things that kind of are added for some reason. I can see why they were cut, but it's also full of a lot of things that kind of show the passion of the director. Well, starting with the 4:3 ratio, I don't know what that was all about. I don't think it was a bad decision necessarily. I just thought it was weird, but it was still interesting to see how much creative control Zack Snyder had in this movie. And honestly, I think it sets a precedent for giving directors more creative control over their works of art, because this movie is full of things that just you would never see in a normal movie. And that is another reason also why I respect a lot Warner Bros. To give Zack Snyder this opportunity to fulfill his vision. I don't think it would have ever happened without the fans. He even says that in the beginning of the movie. So that's the thing I really appreciated. So this movie essentially follows the same plot as the 2017 one, only with a far more extended scenes and a epilogue, which is kind of strange and is basically most of the reasons people have been hyped for this movie. I think the reasons people were hyped to see this version was all the new lore that it adds to the DCEU universe, that mainly Zack Snyder has been creating all the way since Man of Steel, then Batman v Superman, the original Justice League, before all that stuff was cut out. So basically people were waiting for Darkseid, waiting for the Joker, waiting for the evil nightmare universe that we've been seeing over and over the trailers and Batman v Superman. That really shows up until the end. Before that, it's all just everything we saw from Justice League with far more added scenes in between. Also, this movie doesn't just add stuff, it also removes things from the original Justice League, which I thought was great. There were some things that I thought were just unnecessary or plain stupid. One of them is a joke between Flash and Cyborg that I thought was really in bad taste. Another one with Batman just being a complete a-hole to Wonder Woman, things like that were cut. I think this movie did a way better job with those things. But all the small things they add just make this basically a 4-hour long TV show. I thought it felt a lot like a TV show. Some examples are all the backstory that's added to these characters that we didn't see in the original Justice League. Seriously, the Snyder Cut adds a lot of backstory to these characters, especially, for example, Cyborg, which basically we get a 10-minute version of what would have been the Cyborg movie that was going to release last year. I thought that was great. I really enjoyed seeing the backstory to these characters because I felt in the original Justice League, characters like the Flash, Cyborg, Aquaman were reduced to kind of just extra characters that are just there to complete the Justice League, but no backstory, no context within this universe. So I appreciate this version to do that. But I thought there are a lot of smaller scenes that just were completely unnecessary. I thought the Flash scene with the hot dogs and stopping the truck and saving the woman and whatever, I thought that was way out of place and didn't really feel right, but I still enjoyed it. I thought it was just, a TV show that you just watch, plug in for 4 hours. And it's basically the same plot as Justice League. The heroes get together, they stop Steppenwolf, gather the mother boxes, revive Superman, save the day, boom, it's over. And it's not necessarily bad. I thought the plot was just your generic superhero popcorn flick, but it was still fine. I enjoyed it. So a lot of the cut scenes are also full of Zack Snyder's classic charm. For example, things we see in movies like Sucker Punch, Batman v Superman, those kind of things, where everything's just so dark and gloomy for no reason. And there's these super weird sequences, for example, in the Aquaman scene where he leaves the bar. And I mean, not the bar, when he talks with Batman and they go to the sea, suddenly a woman starts singing and it's so eerie and so strange for no reason. The movie's full of those things, which I think it's fine. I love Zack Snyder for that. I love his previous work, especially Sucker Punch. I think that's a great movie. but it's still like I just thought it was funny. And the movie still has some stupid scenes. Like it's not completely great. There's still like a lot of moments that would just make you go like, what the heck did I just watch? But still I think it was enjoyable. So now let's get out of the way. I talked about like the plot, the things I liked, and differences from the original Justice League. So now I'm going to go to the ending and the things they added that people were the most excited about, and I was excited about too, and talk about like what expectations were met and what expectations were kind of like diverted in some way. So I really wanted to watch this movie for some reasons. One of them were like all the different characters that were going to add it. Like people were hyping like Lex Luthor, his return, the Joker, Deathstroke, Darkseid, like all these different characters that everybody felt were going to add more to the plot. But essentially they're just there as an afterthought. Like those characters appear like in the last 30 minutes. So basically like the entire 3.5 hours in the beginning is just basically Justice League with deleted and extended scenes. That's it. And some glimpses of Darkseid, some changes. Steppenwolf is completely redesigned, which I thought was great. I thought he looked terrible in the original Justice League along with the rest of the CGI. I thought the CGI was just horrifying. It looked like a Robert Rodriguez movies like Shark Boy and Lava Girl or like Spy Kids. It was just awful. This movie changed that. Everything looks better, looks more clean. Steppenwolf looks awesome and actually imposing. Darkseid looks awesome too. But yeah, like the characters that really people were excited about appear towards the end, and they appear like in these like super out of context scenes. So these out of context scenes include one where Lex Luthor escapes from prison, one where it shows like the nightmare reality, like an alternate universe where Superman is evil and Batman has to stop him with some members of the Justice League and some others are dead. And I thought that sequence was awesome. Like, I gotta admit, that sequence had me at the edge of my seat. The conversation between Batman and Jared Leto's Joker, it was so tense, so amazing, and I love that they included that. But it also at the same time, it feels like kind of an alternate version. Like, it feels like a weird movie that would have existed in another reality where Warner Bros. Didn't make so many crappy decisions and let actual directors and writers be more creative with the budgets. I feel like if they let Zack Snyder realize his vision with the 2 Justice League movies, if they made like a part 2 to this film, it would have been so awesome with the Joker and the alternate reality and all that kind of stuff. But sadly, it didn't happen, and it probably won't happen, which I'm pretty sad. I'm more of a Marvel fan, but this is like one of the few times where I'm actually rooting for DC in this DCU universe. So yeah, overall, Zack Snyder's Justice League is a massive improvement over the 2017 one, but I thought it could have been much better. Like, I thought like this movie only really exists with the context of the entire DCEU. Like, I felt like they tried to do what Marvel is doing in a pretty small amount of time, and it just shows like how far corporate greed, like Warner Bros. Probably was like, oh, look at how much money Marvel is doing, we should do the same. So they put out these movies as fast as they could, and it failed. And it makes me pretty sad because this movie's kind of like a testament of what could have been if they had planned the DCU way better and before they actually started making these movies. Like, I felt like they were just started making movies, like they made Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Batman v Superman, and they just like came with a plan along the way, and it didn't work, and that's why we ended up with the original Justice League instead of the Zack Snyder's Justice League. I feel like if that movie they would have added like an extra half an hour, like at least 30 more minutes, so it's a 2.5 hour movie that shows exactly what the writers wanted to show us, it would have been a way better experience. But yeah, overall, I think this movie was good. I enjoyed my time with it, even though it was 4 hours long. It was super long, and I don't know, I thought it was worth it. The final scenes, I really thought they showed a lot of potential. And yeah, anyways, I loved the movie. Zack Snyder's Justice League was great. And yeah, I think I'm going to give it a 75 out of 100. I feel like that suits it right. It's not perfect. It's full of strange decisions, but it still works way better than the other one. And yeah, I feel like this movie is a great improvement over what we saw. And I respect the hell out of Warner Brothers for giving Zack Snyder this opportunity. But yeah, I think those were all my thoughts on the movie. And yeah, so that was everything for today. I'll see you next time, and peace.